best medal hope of the three. Mark ran remarkably well in Crystal Palace in that Grand Prix meeting just before the team flew out to Edmonton. And of course, Jamie Bolshew and Thomas, the other two representatives in the 400 metres, and Dwayne Chambers is joined by Christian Malcolm and that prodigious talent, Mark Lewis Francis. Just going back to this shot put, I've been watching the shot putters warm up for about 15 minutes. And that qualification line of 20.45, John Godina just exceeded it by about 60 or 70 centimetres in his warm up, but nobody else has got close. So it's going to be interesting. I don't think there'll be too many men with that automatic qualifying mark, as the competition is just about to get underway proper.
Brad Snyder, this is, of Canada, a 20.79 man, well capable of the mark, and I think has just done it. First throw of the day, and Snyder in front of what has to be said is a very sparse crowd in the stadium at the moment, has just banged one out, which literally came down on the line across the sector that has been laid down at 20.45. That qualification distance, will he have been given the nod, so to speak, or will he be a centimetre or so shy? But he was delighted with it. Very good opener. The grass out there on the infield obviously has had a pretty good soaking, drenching overnight. The shots are thudding into the turf and staying there. 20.47. Does it by 2 centimetres.
This is the first thrower in Group B. This is Bilanog, the Ukraine. That too, very close. That's probably going to be a centimetre or two shy of that qualifying mark. Bilanog has 20.98 to his name this season. 21.64 is all-time best. That's, as I say, maybe a centimetre or two shy, I suspect. .20.46. He too straight into the final.
Well, this is the massive figure of Georgi Guset of Romania. Actually shared a taxi with him a couple of years ago. Very, very nice guy. Season's best 20.68. We'll need to get very close to that here. No, well shy of the distance required. That looks to be around a metre short of the 20.45 line. Romanian, now 33 years old, failed to qualify at the Olympics last year. That's stopboard. They can bang their foot into it as hard as they like. They just mustn't put their foot on top of it. If they do, they're disqualified. But impressive opening throws from Snyder and Bilanog in the two groups. Guzet given a no throw there.
Miknovic of Belarus. Not exceeded 20 metres this season. So I would have thought unlikely that he'll get close. And just as I say that, he got closer than I thought. Certainly not 20.45. Probably just a few centimetres shy of 20 metres if that line is bang on 20.45, which it should be. The 25-year-old was 9th in Sydney, so he can perform a season's best 2011 for Miknovic.
And here is the big man, R.C. Arju. 21.39 his personal best. 20.70 this year, as you can see. But Arju at 27, the Olympic champion, failed to qualify in Atlanta 4 years prior to Sydney. Oh, and that one, not good enough. He will need to throw on. Well, Arju made the final in Seville 2 years ago, but went out there and had 3 no throws. It was his first 3 efforts. Obviously didn't make the cut. Ended up enormously disappointed, but some 3 years ago he ruptured an Achilles completely, Haju, and missed an entire season. At least he's out there and competing, and everything to throw for at the moment, although he'll need to go a bit better than that at the moment.
Now, if you turn your attention to the infield area, just beneath the scoreboard and video screen.
Well, there's the scene at the Commonwealth Stadium early on this first morning of track and field action, the second day of these 8th World Championships. Haju throwing 1970, just now the Olympic champion in the shot put qualifying, which is unfolding in the foreground there, at bottom corner.
Sven Oli Buda then, of Germany, another big man. No, well short, probably a couple of meters shy. For has thrown over 20 meters this season. He's now 35 years of age, and probably his best days behind him. But he'll certainly have to make a big improvement if he's going to make the final. 1862, that's poor by his standards.
Well, the shot qualifying action continues in the stadium, and with already several throws well beyond 20 meters. 2 men so far have qualified automatically. Interestingly, just the first thrower in each of these 2 groups. Brad Snyder of the USA, of Canada rather, banging out to 20.47 in Group A, and Yuri Belanog 20.46, the first throw of the day in Group B.
Tony Carlson of Finland, huge reception from the crowd, and he too looks to have exceeded that 20-meter 45 mark in the first round. Former European under-23 champion Carlson, and it looks to have set a personal best. 20.49, his best before this competition. And yes, there you see the PB, personal best, 20.72. And what a time to produce a throw better than you ever thrown before. No wonder the Finn looks so pleased.
So 3 men now clear, 1, 2, 4, 3. This is Dragan Peric of Yugoslavia. Peric has been around a long time, 37 years old now. 4th in the last European Championships, the Yugoslav. And that right on the cusp, I don't think far enough, looks to be just shy of the 20.45 line. Whatever, that's a huge season's best. He hadn't broached 20 meters before this year. So he has hit form at exactly the right time. What's he going to be credited with? 20.43, oh, 2 centimeters shy. A season's best by almost half a meter. Now that's what you call raising your game in the best possible way. Well, just to bring you up to speed with what else we have, the women's pole vault qualifying goes off in about 5 minutes local time. And then the first event of the heptathlon, minus, of course, Denise Lewis this morning, will be at 9 o'clock local time. That's the 100-meter hurdles. And what a great shame for the British squad that Denise cannot take part in these championships.
Medina, Venezuela. No. That's well shy of 20.45. Oh, and he falls out the circle anyway. So 2 more attempts for the Venezuelan to get things right technically and to move himself into the top 12 to qualify for the final, which takes place at 4 o'clock this afternoon local time.
Well, the heat is already building in the stadium. The action has been underway for just over 10 minutes here in Edmonton. And on this Saturday morning, a fresh, cool Saturday morning, as it was half an hour or so ago, the heat is beginning to build, and I would say every 10 minutes or so it's going up a degree as the sun is beginning to burn off what little cloud there is. Now, this is one of the medal favourites, Adam Nelson of the USA. As you can see, a man who has thrown over 22 metres at his very best, Nelson. This year, thrown 20.81. Oh, and he's shy of the qualification line there. Coached by Britain's Bob Weir, former Commonwealth hammer champion and still Britain's #1 in the discus. But Nelson, the silver medalist last year from Sydney, will be having to look for a very, very significant improvement in his season's form if he's going to get amongst the medals here in Edmonton. 2013, a long way shy of the required mark if he's to go through automatically to that final, which, as Nigel says, is at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Not a great deal of time for these men to recover, relax and refocus.
John Godina, very impressive. Warming up 15 or 20 minutes ago, Godina. One of the few men to have exceeded 22 metres. Very explosive. Ooh. Well, that is amazing. That's just an indication of what nerves can do. There's an indication that it slipped out of his hand there, or the gesture from Godina. But in warm-up, he exceeded, as I said earlier, that 20.45. You saw the groan there as he realised that it didn't leave his hand as he would have liked. But he has had problems in the past. 18.28, miserable return for a man of that quality.
Probably about his worst throw of the season, in fact. Now, Janus Roberts of South Africa. This is the world #1 this year. What a gaudy outfit and what a fabulous throw. 20.45, that is probably over 21 metres. Job done for this morning. Start focusing on this afternoon, because this all counts for nothing. Once you're into the final, doesn't matter if you throw a world record this morning, you have to do it again in the final, just as in any other event. Qualifying is exactly that, qualifying and nothing more. But that is a huge heave, easily the biggest of the day. That surely is over 21 metres. .21.26, goodness me. I can tell you that only 2 other men have thrown that far in the world this year.
.456, Ralph Bartel, Germany. He's 23 years of age, former world and European junior champion. Looking to make his mark at senior level, but he hasn't done it at the first time of asking. Need to throw a lifetime best to qualify automatically. 20.30 is best ever put. And that one measured at 19.41, so another metre or so required from the 23-year-old German.
While that throw was going on, by the way, over in Group A, Mark Proctor had his first effort, the only British representative in this event, and has thrown 16.98 in his opening effort. Mark will certainly be wanting to